Hello everybody and welcome. Welcome to Boost Your Mood. So this session is called Boost Your Mood and it's about coping with feeling blue, those feelings of depression and low mood. So before we begin, I just introduce myself. So I'm Sue. I'm one of the college wellbeing practitioners at Valley Steps, and I'm working on a new project that's called Steps to Student Wellbeing. It's a project with students for students. And we're developing a wellbeing support for students. So we have a website which is www.valleysteps.org/students. So check out the web page. There's lots of information there about the service. So we're working with primarily Rhondda, Cynon Taf and Merthyr areas for the beginning of the project. So that's with the University of South Wales, the College Merthyr Tydfil and Coleg y Cymoedd. So if you want to know more about the project, check out the web page. If you're interested in getting involved in the project, then let us know. So you can get in touch at students@valleysteps.org. That's our email address. So drop us a line if you're interested. So what are the aims of this session? So we're going to look at what is low mood, thinking about how people describe low mood and what it is, what it feels like, what it means to you. Recognizing the signs. So we're going to look at thoughts, actions, feelings and physical symptoms associated with low mood. And then we're going to look at ways to boost your mood and think about what will you do. So what can you do following the session? How can you take it forward? So what do we mean by feeling blue, feelings of depression and low mood? So these are some words that young people use to describe how they feel. So it might be that they say they feel blue, feeling down, feel like there's no colour in my life, just low mood, not myself, feel disconnected, down in the dumps, in a funk, feel like crap, feel numb, feel out of sorts, feel in a void, feel a darkness, or feel like I'm drowning. So these are all the kind of words that people might use to describe having a low mood, feeling low. So how do you know you're feeling blue or have low mood or feeling depressed? You might have low mood thoughts. So things like, I'm useless, what's the point? I can't do it, nobody likes me, I hate myself. So those are all low mood thoughts. If we think those kind of things, we're not going to feel great about ourselves. We're not going to feel like doing much either. So that might lead to low mood actions, or we might have low mood actions, things we notice. So things like difficulty making decisions. It's really hard to decide on anything, that we may put things off, may procrastinate a lot, may lack motivation, not feeling like doing anything. It can be really hard to focus or concentrate. And we stop doing things that we enjoy, so maybe you stop doing things that you actually enjoy doing, and you just can't be bothered to do things, so you just can't be bothered to do anything. So those are the kind of actions, the things that we might do or not do. And then there are low mood feelings or emotions. So when we're feeling down and low, we might get angry and irritable, and because people react differently. We might be tearful, sad or upset, may lose interest or enjoyment in things, may feel numb or feel guilty about things, or feel lonely. So you can get kind of isolated and feel really lonely, or feel hopeless, like nothing we do makes any kind of difference, and we start to feel, what's the point? And then there are low mood physical or body signs, so things that you might notice. So you may have difficulty with your sleeping. Maybe it's hard to go to sleep, or maybe you're sleeping more than normal. You may be restless. You could be really tired and lethargic, when you just can't be bothered, you just feel tired all the time. Some people might notice that they gain weight or they lose weight. So maybe that you're overeating, eating more than normal, or eating less than normal. And you might notice in your posture as well. So people that have low mood tend to hunch over, maybe look down, they don't really look up, don't want eye contact, kind of close themselves in. So if you see the girl on the laptop, she's really closed down, very typical posture of having a low mood. And you may engage in unhelpful behaviours. So things like drinking alcohol, and it might seem like a good idea at the time because you want to raise your mood or feel better, so you drink alcohol and it might work temporarily. But obviously long-term use of alcohol is not good because of the effects of that. But also alcohol is a depressant in itself, because so it can make you feel worse in the end, and can affect the quality of your sleep as well, which adds to feeling not so good. May resort to taking drugs to try and feel better, and again, lots of side effects with drugs depending on what drugs you're taking, and the risk of addiction and dependency. Or comfort eating, so we might turn to things like, you know, the chocolate, the crisps, the high fat, high sugar things, the donuts, things that are really nice and it might make you feel better in the short term, but maybe not so good in the long term. You might start to feel guilty for eating them, or, you know, if you start to put on weight, or just feel bad because you know you shouldn't have eaten it. Another unhelpful behaviour is isolation. So because you don't feel like doing anything, you might stop socialising and become isolated, and that's not good for your mental health. And then avoidance. So again, when you don't feel like doing things, you avoid doing things because you can't face it. And when we avoid lots of things, our world just becomes much smaller because we stop doing things. Or we may be overspending. So in order to feel better about ourselves, we think, oh, a bit of retail therapy, let's go buy something. Oh, those new trainers, that new top. But that can result in overspending. Then it might make you feel good at the time, but it is probably short-lived because, you know, it doesn't last for long, that feeling, and then you just want something else. And then when we overspend, we feel guilty, we feel bad about ourselves. Or maybe even gambling. So some people feel like that makes them feel better temporarily. But again, these things could be useful short term, but in the long term, they're not very helpful. So just things to think about. And it's important to remember that it's okay to not feel okay. We don't have to feel happy and, you know, joyous all of the time. That's not realistic. Life's not like that. There are ups and there are downs, and we go through different stages. And if something happens in our life, it's quite normal that we feel low or a bit depressed. So, you know, if we're faced with bereavement, or if there are big changes in our life, things that we're not happy about or that we have no control over, our mood might dip, and that's okay. It's okay to have days or moments when you don't feel so great. But when does it become a problem? So if it persists for several weeks or into months, so if it's like long term, so it's not something that you're sort of snapping out of or that you're coming back out of, if there's no joy in between, or you're just feeling generally low all of the time and can't be bothered to do things, or when it starts to affect your day-to-day life. So again, when you stop doing things and it starts to affect, so maybe you stop going to college because you can't face it, or, you know, it might start small, that you stop doing assignments, or you stop going and seeing your friends, and it starts to affect your day-to-day life. So there's not much pleasure left. And then if you do notice that, then seek help. So talk to somebody that you can trust, or go and see your doctor, or check out the NHS website. So thinking about what we thought about with low mood, and the thoughts, the actions, the body and the feelings that we've described, it's important to remember that they're all connected. So when we feel we have like low mood thoughts like nobody cares about me, or I'm no good, then that's going to lead to action. So when we feel like that, we're probably going to avoid doing certain things. So if we feel we're not good at anything, or everything always goes wrong, then we're going to avoid doing things. And then we might have certain body reactions. I mean, maybe that we decide we're going to comfort eat because we're not feeling great about ourselves, and then there are going to be feelings associated with that. So we're not going to feel good about ourselves. We may start to feel guilty. We may just feel really sad and tearful. But thinking about the fact that these things are connected, so like if we have low mood thoughts, that may lead to actions or body reactions or feelings, and the same with any of them. So the feelings could lead to the thoughts, and these arrows just show how they're all interconnected. And it's important to remember, because by changing any one of these things, it can affect our overall feeling of how we are. It can like raise our mood or boost our mood. So that's what we're going to sort of look at now. So it's important to remember that your thoughts and mood don't have to match your actions. So you could take action even when you don't feel like it. So on days where you wake up and you feel like, I just can't be bothered, and your thoughts are saying, oh, what's the point? There's no point in doing this. I'm no good at this. It's just going to be rubbish. If you can get up and do something or take some kind of action, then you can change how you think and feel. So you don't need to be in the right mood to do something. It's just about taking action and doing it. Another important thing to remember is that you are not your thoughts. So when you're having these low mood thoughts, they're not you, they're not real, they are just thoughts. So you can detach from them, you can believe them if you want to, and you can choose not to believe them. You're not your thoughts. So now we're going to move on to ways to boost your mood. So the first thing you could do is, thinking about those unhelpful thoughts, is challenge them. So put them on trial. So if you feel like, oh, I'm no good at anything, put the thought on trial. Is it true? Is it true that you're no good at anything? Probably not. There's probably some things that you are good at. You're just choosing to feel like that you're no good at anything, maybe because something has happened and this one particular thing you're not very good at. Or what would your best friend say to you? So if you said to them, oh, I'm just rubbish, I'm no good at anything, what would they say to you? They'd probably look at you and go, don't be silly, of course you're good at things. There are loads of things that you're good at, and probably reel off a list of things. So another thing we can do with unhelpful thoughts is to keep a thought diary. So you can record your thoughts, and it might be enough just to write them down, just to get them out of your head and onto paper. Sometimes that's enough to make you feel better. And you can do that in a thought diary. We've got examples of that on the webpage. Or you might want to take it a step further and then think about writing some more helpful thoughts, which is what we're going to look at next. And then rehearse yourself saying the more helpful ones. So when the negative thoughts or the unhelpful thoughts come back in, you've got something to say in retaliation. So when you feel like, oh, I'm no good at anything, if you sort of say to yourself, well, actually, I'm good at some things, you're ready and you're prepared. So let's look at an example of that. So an unhelpful thought might be something like, I'm useless. So what are more helpful thoughts that we could have? Could say things like, I'm not good at this yet. So it might be that it's something you're trying to do and you just haven't practiced it very much. And, you know, things do take practice. We get better, don't we, with time. So it's putting it into perspective. Or maybe that I can learn. So, okay, yeah, I'm pretty rubbish at this right now, but I could learn to get better. Or it might be that we say, well, I'm good at lots of things, so I'm not useless. I might be rubbish at this thing, or, you know, or maybe that person said I was rubbish, but I'm not. I'm good at this. You know, I'm a good friend. I'm good. I can play the guitar. You know, I can run. I can do this. I can do that. Make a list. Make a list of things, you know, the evidence that helps you think a more helpful thought. And then ultimately, you might be able to say, well, no, I'm not useless. I'm pretty useful, actually. But sometimes it's really difficult to jump straight from the unhelpful thought, I'm useless, if you completely believe it, to I'm not useless, I'm pretty useful, because you're like, well, no, I'm not. But if you can find the evidence, so by moving down the steps, so sort of unpicking it a bit, it can help. And you can start to believe these, and eventually then you can counteract the unhelpful thought. So something else we can do if we're having low mood and feeling a bit low or depressed is practice mindfulness. So mindfulness is all about becoming aware in the present moment and not judging things, just accepting things as they are. So we have a mindfulness session on the webpage, which is called Mindfulness 101. You can check that out. That's just a short half-hour session for anybody, just complete beginners, explains mindfulness, gives you a chance to practice some mindfulness. And if you get into that and you want to learn more, then there's a 6-week course that runs, a Mindfulness for Everyday course within Valley Steps that you could sign up to. But mindfulness has been shown, it's been really useful for people with low mood and depression, especially if it's combined with some sort of cognitive behavioural stuff, which is what the Mindfulness for Everyday course is all about. And practicing mindfulness regularly helps to improve our mood and make us feel better. So something else we can do when we're feeling low is to be more active. So exercise helps to improve our mood, makes us feel happier and reduces feelings of depression. So exercise can be anything. So things like cycling, skateboarding, skipping, running, whatever you're into, whatever you enjoy doing. It could be some sorts of sports or team games, anything that gets you out and about, moving around, gets your heartbeat pumping faster and your breathing more rapidly, is really good for you, and that can help to combat depression. It's one of the best things really, is exercise, and it's something that doctors will prescribe for people that are depressed. They can do exercise referral programs. And do things that you enjoy. So when we feel low and our mood is low and we're feeling a bit depressed or blue, we stop doing things that we used to enjoy. And sometimes we forget about these things altogether, especially if we're low for a while, and we stop thinking about the things we used to enjoy. So make a list of things you enjoy now or that you used to enjoy. And we have a list of enjoyable activities again on the web page. If you want to check that out, you can download that to give you some ideas to get you started. And then once you've got a list of things that you'd like to do, decide which one to do, and then plan to do one of them this week. So it could be absolutely anything. So maybe you play an instrument and you haven't done it for a while, and maybe it's kicking a ball around, going to the cinema, doing some arts and crafts, getting outside, whatever it is, whatever you enjoy doing, think about that and then plan to do one of those this week. And then the more things that you can plan into your life, the better you're going to feel. So the things that you enjoy doing, and all too often, especially when the demands are high, so when we've got like lots of work to do and study to do, we're very good at sort of planning when we're going to do that, but maybe not so good at planning when we're going to do the things that we enjoy doing. So remember to put those in your timetable as well. And practice gratitude. So this really helps with our mood. So it can help to make us feel so much better. So what are you thankful for? Think about keeping a gratitude journal. So you could check out, we've got an example of this on the web page, or you could make your own. You could just literally just jot something down on a bit of paper on your phone, wherever you want to. So just keep a gratitude journal. Maybe list 3 things every day that you're grateful for. So you can either do that at the beginning of the day or the end of the day. I know some people like to do it at the end of the day, thinking about, well, what's happened today? What am I grateful for? And really think about those things, because when we're feeling low, it's hard to focus on the positive things, but there's always something that you're grateful for. Just sort of look around you, all the things that are in your environment, you're probably grateful for having those and the people around you. And there's an app called the Presently app, which is completely free, and you can use that to record things that you're grateful for. Or you could tell somebody that you appreciate them. So that'll make you feel better and make them feel better as well. And maybe notice the beauty in the world. So be grateful for what's around you, whether that's nature, architecture, buildings, the beauty, or just anything, electronics, the beauty of things like that, whatever you find that you appreciate, and smile. So everybody can smile at someone else, and it makes you feel better, makes them feel better. And there's actually research to show that when you're feeling low, by smiling, it improves your mood. So it changes your chemical makeup and makes you feel happier. And you can do this by literally, if you get a pen, if you bite on a pen, it forces the side of your mouth up and makes you into a smile. So if you imagine you're biting on a pen and you smile, and the research shows that actually makes you feel better, just that action. So doing the action of smiling will improve your mood. And this one I love. This is called the Feeling Blue box. So you can get a physical box if you want to. You could have a drawer in your chest of drawers. You could just have a space on your phone or your laptop where you just record things. You could have a jar where you just put ideas in a jar. And the idea is that you're going to put things in here that you can do or that you enjoy for when you're feeling low. So on the days where you can't be bothered and you're in that slump and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, you can go to this box, your feeling blue box. So you might put ideas in there like, oh, chat with my bestie. You might even have a compliments jar where you keep a list of compliments and things about yourself that people have said about you, or you might get people to do that with you, and put them in a jar, and then you can pull one out when you're feeling a bit low. It maybe you put some candles into a physical box, or you just make a note that you like scented candles and keep them somewhere. Funny video clips, if that makes you feel better. Just make a list of things, have an upbeat playlist. So then again, you can make this when you're feeling great, and then remind yourself. So you might want to put notes in your box and pull them out and think, oh, I can check out my upbeat playlist. You may even want to keep a bar of your favorite chocolate or sweets or something in there to make you feel better, or maybe some happy photos, either physical photos, or keep some on your phone that are labeled, or my happy photos, things that you look at and make you feel good. It's up to you, whatever makes you feel good, just put it into your feeling blue box. Another really important thing that you can do is to think about who you can rely on for support. So it's important to connect with other people and have people that you can talk to. So this could be friends, family, tutors, professionals, whoever that is. Make a list of these people for when you need them. So who can you talk to when you need cheering up? Who makes you laugh? That might be somebody different to who you want to talk to when you want them to listen. You want to be able to tell them stuff. So make a list of people who can you confide in, who takes you seriously, or who makes you laugh, or who lifts your mood, and have a list of those and keep that. Maybe you could keep that in your blue box as well for people to contact. And if you need to, maybe find out about organisations or professionals and keep numbers if you know that you feel low frequently. And establish some routines. So often when we're feeling low and not feeling ourselves, we don't really want to do much, so we get out of routine. So if you're out of routine and maybe you're not doing much at the moment, make sure that you sort of get up, get dressed, get out of the house as much as you can, and set yourself regular meal times, because when we eat regularly, it helps to regulate our moods. It stops all the up and down, so that when we're not got enough carbs and sugars in our body. Try and do some exercise. So any kind of exercise will make you feel better, and build it into your routine. Do some shopping. Make sure you've got food in the house to eat, so you can have your regular meals. And try and get your chores done as well. So quite often we let things go when we're not feeling like it, but if you just get up and do a little bit, it'll make you feel better. And if you build them into your routine, so sort of do things as you get up, maybe do a little bit of tidying or something. And this one's great as well. This is set some quick goals. So these are quick 5-minute things, or less than 5 minutes. Because when we set small, simple, quick and easy goals, these quick wins, they make us feel better. So it could be as simple as making your bed when you get up in the morning, because research has shown that if you do that, as soon as you get up, you make your bed, you've achieved something first thing, and that sets you up for the day. So that makes you feel better straight away because you've actually done something. So these little quick goals are great. And it may be washing your dishes, picking up your laundry off the floor, just putting it in the wash basket, making a list of things you need to do, or doing some stretches like our cat here. So some quick 5-minute stretches when you get up, or just throughout the day. But just quick goals and quick wins make you feel better. So what will you do? Thinking about the things that we've talked about, could you challenge or change your unhelpful thoughts? Is that something you're interested in? Could you be more active, doing some kind of exercise or activity? Who could you contact? Make a list of people for support, or do you have a list already? Do you know who you can go to? Create a feeling blue box. Do things that you enjoy. Practice gratitude, or set some quick goals, or start a new routine, or establish an old routine. So that's what I challenge you to do, is to pick one thing and give it a go. And most of all, don't forget to celebrate your successes. So when you've picked and tried some of those things, celebrate your successes. Every time you do something, if you do, you know, the 5-minute goals and you achieve something, go, yes, I've done that, that's great. Just revel in your success for a moment, because again, that can help you to feel better. So thank you for watching. Just a few reminders, just keep in touch. Follow us on social media. It's @Valley Steps is the social media site. So we're on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Facebook. So check out the YouTube channel for videos. There's videos about mindfulness on there, managing stress and boosting well-being. And then check out the student webpage for resources. We've got lots of resources on there. Some I've talked about on the session, blog posts from our students and videos from them. Then we've got Q&A sessions, loads of stuff that you can download, other sessions that you can watch. So just check it all out. Don't forget, so it's www.valleysteps.org/students is the website, and email us if you're interested in getting involved in the project, or if you have any feedback for us. You can also fill in the feedback form that's on the website, so you can click on that, and if you've watched one of the sessions, you can fill that in. We'd love to hear feedback from you. It'd be really helpful for us. It helps us to change anything that you think, you know, could be done better. It helps us to improve and come up with new ideas for sessions. And just before we go, if any of you out there are struggling right now and need more help, here are some numbers that you can contact. So there's CALL, which is the mental health helpline, 0800 132 737, or you can text them as well on 81066. There's Shout that you can contact if you're in crisis, worried, anxious or stressed. That's a texting service on 85258. The Samaritans on 116123. And Papyrus, which is prevention of young suicide. They have a hope line, which is 0800 068 4141. And Childline, you can ring them on 0800 1111, that's 4 ones. Or check them out on their website, which is www.childline.org. So check out those if you need any extra support. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave feedback if you can. That would be much appreciated. Thank you very much.